Well, what is going on, guys? It's Rabid from Rabid Games here, and we are bringing you some Kerbal space program. Yes, I know it's been a while. I know I never finished the journey to the moon, but we are back. I've been practicing, and this is some career mode gameplay, but this is actually a tutorial on how to get into orbit. I know there are a few noobs still out there, so I'm trying to use the most basic parts as possible here. Obviously, I'm playing career mode, so I've still got quite a few parts not unlocked yet, but here's what we are going to do. We're going to show you how to get into orbit. So obviously you see it's a normal launch here. I've got a small extra engine there which I've just ditched, which I use just to give me a bit extra power, but we're going to ditch these solid rocket boosters in a minute, and then we're going to just slightly start to turn to the right even quickly, because turning to the right rather than to the left is actually going with the turn of the planet Kerbal, so it actually makes it slightly easier for you to break free from the gravity of Kerbal. So you see we ditched the rocket boosters here, and I start to turn. I put myself at about 45 degrees, and I wait for these external tanks to burn out here, because I use that as my little indicator for the next bit of the orbit. But as you can see, I'm keeping myself at 45 degrees. Jebediah is looking happy as anything in there in the bottom corner there. He really loves space travel, bless him. So as you can see, we're about 6,000, maybe 7,000 kilometers up at the moment, if that stupid watermark could move out of the way. I've really got to upgrade Bandicam to the full version so that you guys can see my altitude. But yeah, we're coming up to here. When these tanks are ditched, we should be able to then go into map mode, which you use by pressing the M key, for all you Kerbal Space Program noobs out there. And here we go, the lovely re-entry effects that we get here with this. I actually get some science a bit later on, which I wasn't expecting, because it means I've now unlocked all the third tier of stuff. So you see, we ditch them, and then I go into map mode by pressing M, and I look at our apoapse, and we need that apoapse to get to about 100 kilometers in order for a kind of stable orbit. It can be above 70,000 is anywhere stable, but you need to get that. I say about 100 kilometers is the best place for an apoapse, personally. So yeah, we're just going to wait for that. Going to press X to cut the throttle, and then we're going to add a maneuver node by clicking on it and pulling the prograde vector, which is the one which looks like a little plane, and making sure that our periapse, which is our lowest point in the orbit, is above 70,000 cc. Here I'm messing around with the maneuver nodes just to check it's all nice and fine. So I get a maneuver that I like, and then I'm going straight to the blue node on the nav ball using the WAS and D keys to control it. I'm also pressing F as well to disengage SAS, just because it makes it slightly easier just to move from point to point. And then I've got to wait. You'll see by the nav ball it says an estimated time to burn at the bottom. I just get rid of the nav ball there, just to give you a nice cinematic shot of the sun there. But you can see there's an estimated time to burn, and I always like, and you'll see me do it here, to burn 15 seconds prior to that. So as soon as that countdown clock gets to about T-minus 15 seconds, fire up those engines and begin your burn, because if you do it right on it, you usually slip past the apoapse and you end up falling back into the atmosphere. That is a crucial technique when you're learning how to get into orbit. So you'll see me here time accelerating using the full stop and comma keys to time accelerate forwards and backwards. You can only go certain amounts when you are below a certain altitude, so I can only warp 10 times, I think it is, when you're below, I think it's 240,000 meters. But you'll see we're coming up here. You'll see me start throttling up now, and you'll see my orbit expanding. And soon I click on the resources to see how much fuel I have left in that particular tank. I actually really well on this orbit. So you see the orbit expanding and expanding, and that will increase as your velocity increases, which you can see between the green RCS and the blue SAS buttons on the nav ball. You can see the velocity, and if you're in orbit or surface velocity. So at the moment, because we're in space, we are in orbit velocity, and you can see the little bar, the green bar there going down. I just pointed out for no reason, but you can see, and you'll see a blue periapse pop up right there. We go, there's the periapse, and we just wait for them to be stable, just check that they are the right size, and then we delete our maneuver node like so, and we're in orbit. We're in a stable orbit. We'd stay there for as long as our power would let us. So we can do some experiments up here. Obviously I've already done some kinds of experiments here, but we can look around. We can EVA Jeb, which is what I'm about to do in a second or two. I'm just making sure that our apoapse and periapse is stable. So we're in there. Those green lights are some batteries, by the way. You don't unlock them straight away. You unlock them, I think it's the second tier. So you just see me rolling the craft round now and get Jeb out. There he is. He's EVAing over the planet Kerb and see if I can get any science. Not this time, but you'll see me get some a bit later on. So yeah, I'll do another video on all the science mechanics and stuff like that. But this is just a basic tutorial, as I said, for orbital beginners. So we're going to see me time accelerate round. Now you can see the nav ball just spinning around. That's something you do because I'm not using the proper EVA SAS module. I'm simply using the inline reaction wheel, which in fact it's not even the inline one, it's the basic one that you get in one of the first tiers, which is good. It provides a lot of torque, but it's not it's not the best for controlling flight. And you see me, I'm retrograding here, which is the reverse to your velocity vector, which is the prograde, which looks like a little plane. So you see me here, I'm by apoapse here, which is the highest point in your orbit, and I'm going to start descending now. I've decided we've spent enough time in space. So you see me pointing myself retrograde, which is like the almost triangular vector, and you see me start to throttle up. That slows us down. Obviously I ran out of fuel in that tank, so I ditched it, and you can see we've broken orbit. Our periapse has disappeared, or rather it's disappeared inside the planet, and so we're going to be coming down just over a desert, which is a pretty good landing spot. Bearing in mind that's one of the biomes on Kerbal which I haven't managed to get there yet. So I'm just time accelerating, and we've hit the atmosphere now. So I always try and keep myself prograde just because it slows you down a little bit more. I forget to ditch this tank as well, which is a bit of a mistake, but you can see, and I'll start time accelerating towards it, towards the atmosphere, and you're going to see the cool re-entry effects. I forgot I was in time acceleration where I was like, what are you doing? Come back, retrograde vector, come back, no, come on, there we go, we're coming back. I didn't realise I was in time acceleration mode. So yeah, we're going to time accelerate down. Look at those re-entry effects as we come down, and then once they disappear, once those flames die down, we are going to deploy. We're going to ditch the extra fuel because I forgot I had it. Thinking I was going to deploy the parachute, so there goes the extra fuel, and there goes the parachute. That's going to slow us down. Keep pointing ourselves for retrograde, as I said before, just because it makes landing one hell of a lot easier, because you just land on what's the bottom of the spacecraft essentially. So we're coming down over the desert, and so at this point I think, you know what, I need a bit of extra science here. Look at Jeb, he looks so happy. So I just time accelerate down. Just be careful when time accelerating downwards when you have a parachute deployed like this, because if it deploys too fast, the physics are a little buggy sometimes, so the parachutes can just like snap off as soon as it gets to that below 1,000 meters. So just don't time accelerate it once the parachutes are fully deployed. So here you see me doing some science. I keep the data because I forgot to fit an aerial onto this, but it doesn't matter because I can just recover the vehicle anyway, and I can get the science back. Decide to EVA Jeb, seeing as we're going at a slow enough velocity. EVA report, we're going to get loads of science from that. And yeah, so we're just going to wait for this to land. We're on a slightly higher, it was on like a sort of mountain range, so we're quite high up compared to other things. So I just time accelerate just a tad. You see the parachutes bugging out there. If the parachute starts to bug out, I think it's best to just press T and just disable SAS like you usually do. It's R to turn on RCS and T to turn on SAS, and F you can turn SAS on and off just with a press of the button. So yeah, we're down, and let's get Jebediah out. And he just falls off, a graceful fall to end a graceful space flight. And you'll see we get some surface samples here, which obviously help with some more science, keep that data. And of course, what space program would be complete without planting a flag? So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bradders, peace.